The arrival of Russian military in Niger has caused concern for the United States of America. The West African nation of Niger is moving away from strong cooperation with the United States in its efforts to combat terrorism and is instead turning to Moscow for assistance in its struggle against Islamist rebels. As a result, Russian military trainers have arrived to strengthen Niger's air defenses by providing additional support. The Russian military trainers arrived in the country on board a plane that was stocked with military supplies, and the footage was shown on the country's state media. During the filming, 2 Russian trainers were seen standing in front of the aircraft while dressed in military clothes, headgear, and face covers. In the broadcast, one of the Russian trainers stated in French, "We are here to train the Nigerian army to use the military equipment that is here. We have come to Niger with the intention of fostering military cooperation between Russia and Niger." Protesters numbering in the hundreds gathered in Niger to voice their disapproval of the presence of foreign forces, particularly the United States military, which maintains a base in the northern region of the country. Protesters converged on Niamey's Central Plaza in response to an appeal from civil society groups with ties to the ruling military junta in Niger. "We have called for the departure of the Americans and all foreign forces from Niger, and the CNSP, an acronym for the Organization of the Military Junta of Niger, has taken our concerns into account. It is in this context that we have come to support and reaffirm our support for the CNSP in relation to the decision taken for the departure of foreign forces," said Abdelaziz Yahya, a protester. "We have called for those forces to leave Niger." Additionally, the demonstration takes place at a time when the West African nation is shifting away from tight cooperation with the United States in the fight against terrorism and is instead looking to Russia for security. Russia sent troops to Niger to protect the country's military leader, and this move could be considered as another way to get Washington out of the country. It has been observed that the Americans have been present at this location for a considerable amount of time, whilst the Russians will be present as part of a win-win partnership. Is there less vulnerability now? Not in my opinion. While with the Russians, we have just recently observed that things are progressing. Momuni Amadou Gado, who was involved in the organization of the rally, stated that things are moving forward. Officials from the United States have stated that the ruling Military Council of Niger, also known as the CNSP, has not yet issued an order for the withdrawal of American forces. The arrival of Russian soldiers, on the other hand, makes it more difficult for the United States military, along with diplomatic and civilian workers, to continue maintaining their presence in the country. Additionally, it casts question on the future of counterinsurgency operations that will be conducted jointly by the United States and Niger. For a long time, Washington saw Niger as an important ally and partner in a country devastated by coups. They had invested millions of dollars in an airbase in a desert region that was the nerve center of American counterinsurgency operations in the sub-Saharan Sahel region of Africa. In addition, the United States has made significant investments in the training of Niger's armed forces in order to combat insurgencies committed by terrorists affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group, who wreaked havoc on the country and its neighbors. A number of these elite soldiers, which had been trained by the United States, participated in a coup that resulted in the removal of the elected president. The relationship between the new leaders of Niger and the United States government has been more strained since then. In a statement, the junta expressed its disapproval of the United States' warning to Niger against partnering with Russia and Iran, claiming that the United States was attempting to coerce the African nation into selecting between 2 partners. There were approximately 600 United States troops and hundreds of more contractors stationed in Niger as recently as December. Their mission was to conduct manned and unmanned surveillance activities and provide support to local forces in their fight against Islamist groups. Since that time, the relationship between the new leaders of Niger and the United States government has rapidly worsened. Due to the fact that a United States delegation led by Molly Fee, the senior United States envoy to Africa, visited the country a month ago, the junta made an announcement on state television saying flights from the airbase that was created by the United States were unlawful and that it no longer acknowledged the existence of American military personnel in the country. The junta expressed its disapproval of the United States' caution to Niger against partnering with Russia and Iran, claiming that the United States was attempting to coerce the African nation into selecting between 2 partners. The report states that the Russian plane, which was delivering military equipment to Niger to bolster its air defenses, has touched down in Niger. The broadcast stated that a March call between Russian President Vladimir Putin and the country's military chiefs was the catalyst for the deployment of Russian trainers. The program stated that the military authorities of Niger are aiming to increase their independence by developing a wider range of relations. According to John Lechner, an Africa analyst and author on the Wagner Group, the junta's goal in bringing a Russian air defense system to Niger is to compel the US and Russia to work together and regain control of the country's airspace, Lechner said. Nevertheless, he went on to say that such cooperation is unlikely. He speculated that the Niger administration might be attempting to pressure the US troops into leaving without actually attempting to push him out. Since 2012, Niger and other neighboring countries in the region have been engulfed by a deepening insurgency that is being fought by Al-Qaeda and Islamic State, affiliated groups. Russian forces' entry into Niger has cast doubt on the viability of collaborative US-Nigeria counterinsurgency operations and made it more difficult for US forces, diplomats, and civilians to stay in the nation. Has the presence of American troops in Niger served Niger's interests? Is it time for the United States military to pull out of Niger? Please mention it in your comment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my channel so that you may be notified when the next video is posted.